أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. O Lord, show us the good as good and bless us to stay with it, and show us falsehood as falsehood and help us to stay away from it with your mercy. وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum everyone. We are proceeding with the Supreme Sign, first chapter of the rays on page 138. Again, the rays, page 138. Then too, they are stored up and preserved in the mountains, all kinds of spring, waters, minerals, and other materials needed by animate beings. In so wise, skillful, generous, and foreseeing a fashion that they prove that they have the storehouses and warehouses and servants of one possessing infinite power, one possessing infinite wisdom. So the traveler now is continuing on in his journey. Last week, we explored different scenes about what we observe in creation, mountains, trees, valleys, rivers, so many lives that are in existence that perhaps we may not even ponder over or really look into them as far as they conveying some kind of message. So, so today we're moving on after looking into the verses and the mountains as peg, and we have cast down anchors, and the mountains he anchored them. These are verses from Quran chapter 79 verse 32, Quran chapter 50 verse 7, Quran chapter 78 verse 7. It is as if the creator of the universe is drawing our attention to look into creation around us and really communicate with these things as far as what can be their source of existence. And it's all around us. Creation speaks to us, but how am I traveling is really the real question. So then too, they are stored up and preserved in the mountains, all kinds of springs, waters, minerals, and other materials needed by animate beings in so wise, skillful, generous, and foreseeing a fashion that they prove that they are the storehouses and warehouses and servants of one possessing infinite power, one possessing infinite wisdom, deducing from these two examples the other duties and instances of wisdom, as great as mountains, of the mountains and plains. The traveler sees through the general instances of wisdom in them, and particularly in regard to the fashion in which all manner of things are stored up in them, providentially, the testimony they give and the divine unity they proclaim, declaring there's no God but He, a declaration as powerful and firm as the mountains, and vast and expansive as the plains. And he too says, I believe in God. So the traveler sees through the general instances of wisdom in them, and particularly in regard to the fashion in which all manner of things are stored up in them, providentially, the testimony they give and the divine unity they proclaim, declaring there's no God but He, a declaration as powerful and firm as the mountains, and vast and expansive as the plains. And he too says, I believe in God. So it's interesting how everything in creation serves a purpose, or in other words, everything is fulfilling its purpose of existence. And just, it's amazing how we may just look at a mountain, just a mountain, something just standing right there and then, but like pondering over anything, even a small pebble, it is communicating something. It's there to help out with the whole ecosystem. And also, like, really, we hear about this, we may have come across in our science classes in terms of minerals found in certain soil, how some some kind of qualities are absorbed, water is absorbed, but like, how is it happening? Do any of those particles know where to go and kind of provide the minerals needed for anything, or even a plant to grow? Like, how can I even explain this sort of setup, this sort of it's really like a what do you say, sophisticated factory. If we think about it, the universe is a very sophisticated factory, but I just bypass it without going deeper into its meaning, which really helps me communicate with the source of my existence. So just like the traveler is able to communicate with the mountain or anything, that everything is proclaiming there's no God, but he as in, hey, I'm not the one giving existence to myself. Hey, I'm in need just like you are. And so when we realize that I am an index of all the qualities manifested in the universe, and so too are anything that I'm interacting with, a tree, mountain, kitten, anything, a fly, a bug, a roach, the sun, everything is an index manifesting the qualities of its maker. So when we can come to these grounds together, then we say, hey, both of us are in need to be sustained. We are in need of providence. We are in need of existence pretty much. And we recognize that nothing here is providing it. So I think the inevitable conclusion of La ilaha becomes illallah, that there must be a one, not of the nature of this universe, which we proclaim to be Allah, or God, the creator. That's amazing to be traveling like this. Yep, I think I just a little bit read on further, and then we can open up a little bit the floor and see if people have anything to say. There are things going on the chat. Salam, trying to keep up with halakas in between, boring stuff. How are you? Okay, so sorry, so there were some conversations going on there, and then Sarah's wondering, I wonder the wisdom in calling the observer traveler that can see the wisdom. That's an interesting point. Sarah, you want to elaborate further on that?
Assalamu alaikum. I think this paragraph for me was very loaded with meaning. So even just a pause here would be good for me, just because there's so much transformative wording in that paradigm shift of seeing something that looks inanimate, a mountain, as a storehouse and a warehouse that's filled with particular things that we all need. I love what he wrote about all kinds of springs, waters, minerals that are needed are stored in this. And so to discover that, it's a beautiful way to, for me, it was very striking because secular education will teach you that here are mountains, minerals come, out of them. But this is saying, no, it's not that, it's that minerals are stored in them. And so that alone is a paradigm shift, because storehouse, a warehouse, indicates that someone that knows me and that knows what I need is providing for me through this warehouse that's all around me. And then I thought, as you were reading that, I thought, like, here's a bird or, like a chicken. And we would have never thought that somehow this thing would have a warehouse or a storehouse of eggs that would provide dairy. Or if you saw a cow, you would never think this word warehouse or what did he use? The word storage, something about storehouse. Yeah, it's a total paradigm shift. Like, we learn milk comes from the cow and then it becomes something ordinary. But now to look at this cow or to look at this chicken or to look at this mountain and say that provision that's meant for me is stored in this indicates somebody truly, like a being that's incredibly wise and amazing, to have made that connection. So already that struck me. And then I was just wondering about the wording of traveler. It seems to me like that it's the traveler that sees through the general instances of wisdom in them. So then my question was, so it's the traveler that sees this. Then my question was, okay, then what is it about the traveler, the qualities of the traveler that would make him more likely to see the wisdom?
Thank you for your comments, Sarah. Indeed, it's a paradigm shift in terms of how shall we travel the universe and how everything is like a storehouse and warehouse, but how much am I really contemplating on that? I think that's the real question. And you mentioning about what makes this traveler seeing the instances of wisdom in it, right? So I think, first of all, he is definitely traveling with purpose, the conscious side of it. So observing
Just came to
something.
my mind.
Yeah, go
Sorry.
ahead. No worries,
Sister
fine.
Maha, from that studies with us also, had a Ramadan series, and it just came into my head where she had this perpetual repetition of verses, passages in the Quran that were fasiru fil ard, and it was so travel through the land. And this was a constant repetitive message that she shared, mashallah. And it travel through the land remind me of the word traveler, and the Quran used this passage, fasiru fil ard, so travel through the land and see and see and see and see. So like it was this maybe intentional, like we were talking Firya yesterday, subhanAllah, in the book club, like travel through the land and see with the intention of seeing. So people travel all the time, but maybe this word is indicating an intentional type of travel in which someone explores the happenings that are surrounding us in the creation with the intention of seeing how these things are made. That's all.
Hey, thank you so much. That's very helpful, definitely, in terms of traveling through the land with having this purpose, because the purpose is there for all of us. Like, what is the purpose of me doing anything? We're all traveling, but we're really like working out on this purpose and like seeing everything as a sign pointing to something not of the nature of this universe. So even like this piece that the author has written is the supreme sign. And I was wondering, well, okay, I don't, like, what is it? What is the supreme sign? I was like, okay, it will unfold, inshallah, when we start reading this a little better. So yeah, I think what he's helping us do at least is really traveling with purpose, not just like aimless purpose, but with purpose that fulfills the need of my human expectations. Otherwise, there's no way that I can even maybe read up on the human expectations that I have, or maybe, I'll just be superficially working it out, but deep down, like, what is all this pointing to? What is creation pointing to? Definitely it's a sign, but a sign pointing to what? Supreme sign, supreme gathering. He used all those wordings as well last week, and it hasn't still been clear. And, I was hoping that inshallah, as we go along, it should unpack a little more. And go ahead, you want to add something? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, it's a very reflective journey.
Okay.
As a human being, basically, the journey that the author is describing is how a human being should be and how they live when they are going through their living in this world.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to physically travel anywhere, but it's a reflective journey to whatever you see the sun and you wonder about it, how you see the rays and you see the birds. And it's a very different and unique way of like wondering at the universe and seeing the world that you live in and seeing everything as a miracle that is coming at you. So, I mean, we have become so much familiar with the universe that we don't really utilize our human qualities to reflect and see the world in this particular way that the author is sharing. I think it's reigniting that way of looking at the, how we live at the universe, and look at the trees and how he saw the different functions that the trees and the plants are performing, and all different shapes and colors of different leaves and flowers. What are they demonstrating? Who is displaying all that variety in that realm? And then he goes into the mountains and sees that they're not just there by randomly or by themselves, but they are doing, as he said, that they're acting as storehouses for things that there are different realms of other beings that are in need of those things. And then the mountain is serving that purpose, and the mountain is also balancing the ship of the earth, as if the whole in the galaxy, the way the earth rotates, just like a ship, and the sail on the ship in the sea navigates, allows the balance for the navigation of the boat. The mountains also fulfill that purpose in the navigation of the rotations of the earth. So this is a mind-boggling kind of way of looking at it. It's not just a mountain. It's something that is being presented in a way that it's doing some function and has, as you said, as the purpose. There is fulfilling its duty, its purpose.
But that's a good point, actually. You're mentioning that in terms of, it's a perfect setup. And at the same time, even within myself, I'm given all these feeling, emotions going on. It is as if, when you're a child, you fall down and maybe you get hurt and your mom's like, oh, look at the bird flying. Yes, all right. But I think, but that's, when you're younger, but like after that, you just look, I know the tree is crater. Yeah, the bird is flying. It's all fine. But like there's so much stuff going on within the human beings in terms of emotion qualities. And people may say, psychological issue. But this is what we deal with. That's the psychological drama that is also, brought up to us in terms of what we experience. Because I don't work in a farm. I don't work out there in nature. That would be ideal to be doing that. But we gotta really be a little bit practical with the reality of the human being. We interact with things, with humans. There are a lot of things that go on in our lives that, it's really hard to, take out time. Take out time and, hey, look at the bird, look at the sky, look at the sun. Oh, maybe, I should devote maybe 1 hour, of my day, let me just, go for a walk. Yeah, everybody offered that. It helps out, like meditative walk, mindfulness, conscious living, get it all done. But I don't know. I mean, so now I was thinking, okay, what the author is offering here is pretty much looks like that. But here I am with my own emotional dramas going on within myself. Like, how is that helping me? I mean, I think I kind of a little bit brought up last time. I was reflecting on that, but that's great. Thank you, Nursi, for sharing all that. Yeah, look at the tree. Great. Yeah, I'm looking at the sun in the sky. Thank you. And sure, I'll look at it, ponder over it, but like there are 24 hours in a day, maybe for a minute or two, I'll look into it. But like the rest of the 24 hours, there are some other things that I, need to take care of. And you take care of it, you can't postpone it, but there's still like, this is what we deal with. You may say, yeah, it's psychological issue. Okay, yeah, that's why, I think we need to a little bit work on all of this. Yeah, Sarah, I saw. Thank you so much. So Farah, you had your hand up. So go ahead, Farah.
I thought I'd also participate in the discussion in the way that you guys elaborated it. It was very, I think it opened it up a lot, and perhaps somewhat in line with what you were just saying. It might just be a repetition, but given the last week discussion of this journey, this sort of supreme sign, I think the second part of it that we are reading builds off of sort of the very intellectual sort of rational arguments that set it up. And so this, it was highlighted that this is an emotional and a sensual experience that the author is describing. And I was thinking, one way that I also find interesting to look at this journey is, to imagine all of this happening inside of yourself. So the mountains, and I know that this piece of writing goes into from the skies to the mountains, to the plants, to the animals, and more details. And so to think about all of these verses also in that same context, that yeah, we can look outside, and that is our reality and our experience of looking outside into nature, into what is the visible reality, and making our conclusions and experiencing those. But there is an equal world, if not some, in some traditions, I guess they'll say even a more vast world inside of oneself. And so this journey is, the mountains of your emotions, or, the rivers of your sort of feelings that are being described. And so I thought, I found that also an interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I think everything is all interlinked as far as whatever we experience outside, external to us or within ourselves. And I think that's the work that's needed a little bit to internalize perhaps the external side of things that I observe, because I'm no separate than that. Because if I'm an index to all the qualities manifested in the universe, and then really, if there's a place I can start off with, then sure, why not? Otherwise, this whole drama never ends. And yeah, I mean, this is all good. Life is all good right now, sitting down in these discussions, 1 hour or 1.5 hours, and the moment we log off, back to reality, right? Unless you book a flight and that's it, go somewhere in the middle of the Alps or something, and life is good. Nobody will call you that you have some psychological issues, because people, really, to be honest, people have no idea also what everybody else is going through. and people speak of from their experiences also. But really, I'm trying to see what the author is really proposing here, and to me, it does seem like pondering more over creation around me, the qualities I see manifested. Because if I can say that, hey, I myself I'm an index of those qualities manifested in the universe, then that's great. That can be at least a good start in terms of not differentiating anything, but like, hey, I'm part of this whole universe, and so my feelings or any turmoil going on within me is not separate from what's out there. So that's what I wanted to say. And Sarah, go ahead. You have your hand up.
Great questions, Fariha. Like the question that's always asked is, okay, so I see this, but what does it have to do with me? What struck me, mashallah, with this very striking language in this paragraph was this realization. So we don't have mountains in New York. And this week, my question to myself was, how do I sort of take a walk and receive any news when all I see is a concrete jungle and cement trucks, which for me were very hard to see any signs. And as you were reading this, I happen to be in New Jersey, where there's a little bit more trees. And when I look out the window, I just see a tree. Not any spectacular tree, just ordinary, I don't know, pine tree that lasts in the winter and all throughout the seasons. So then as this wording of storehouse, warehouse, and I'm looking at the tree as you're talking, I'm like, wow, well, surely within this tree and through this tree and the connection of the tree and the order of this sun and the atmosphere, there is some storehouse and warehouse of oxygen and other elements that I absolutely need. And it's stored in this little, apparently inanimate, insignificant thing, but it's a storehouse. Actually, this very ordinary tree is a storehouse or warehouse with the sun and the order, because it's all connected, of my needs. And as this paragraph was being read and you guys were sharing reflections, this passage of the Quran that's repeated again and again and again came to me with, last week's reflections in different groups with different friends. My sustainer or caregiver or guardian is the guardian or sustainer of the heavens and the earth. Rabbi, Rabbi samawati wal ard. So whoever is taking care of me, here he is, or here it is, storing what I need right here in this tree, making within it a warehouse just for me to see. So now what does that have to do with me? For me, that's the connection, the bridge is there. Wow, you're showing me how you're taking care of me through this bridge of a tree. Or we don't have mountains, but this storehouse, warehouse is profound. I know another sister friend also recently shared like that the Prophet ﷺ would look at the moon and say to the moon, my Rabb and your Rabb, my guardian or sustainer and yours, is Allah or God. And it really didn't, this adds another layer of meaning. Like, what does that mean? Really, in all of our psychological traumas, like you're saying, we have this deep need to feel this presence of someone taking care of everything that we need. And we have endless needs. So, whatever the need may be for, every one of our needs. So companionship or friendship or, provision for everything. If someone is right here showing me, look at this storehouse and warehouse that I am providing for you. And I am the one controlling the whole universe to take care of you. Would we really feel worried that my need for X or Y, you probably won't take care of that? Would we feel disconnected, like, oh no, but clearly, you know, I'm not being taken care of, or I have a fear or an insecurity about X problem? Would we feel that? Would we feel so insecure if we could really experience, I'm not going to say the mountain, but the tree or whatever it is around us as a storehouse and warehouse of a being that's extremely wise and has power over the heavens and the earth, because everything is so interconnected in the universe? Would I feel insecure that my need for X, Y, or Z would not be met? That's my question.
Yeah, that's a very good question, Sarah. And I think your answer was in the comment that you made, because I think somewhere in the middle here, the author does mention there are the things we see are the storehouses and warehouses and servants of one possessing infinite power, infinite wisdom. So even I think when was it in one of the discussions we said everything is unofficial. They're not acting on their own. They're not acting on behalf of something else of the universe, but definitely they are officials, but they're acting on behalf of something not of the nature of this universe, as in things are being operated on. And so if I'm able to see, like you were saying, that all these things coming from a warehouse, storehouse, and definitely the one who's the owner of the storehouse knows what it's doing, because it's not coming randomly. The one who's the owner of the warehouse of this universe must know.
Shows the signs of wisdom.
Exactly. There must be a wisdom and purpose to it. And I think it's a matter of really like when we say, hey, reading the signs in creation, but it's just really connecting these dots in terms of nothing is external to me. It's all interrelated, it's all connected. But the moment I do start making it external, I think then the journey become a little cumbersome. And so, and this need that you're saying that we are all in need, definitely anything that we experience is always it's like a trigger point of a need for something. And if we go into the root cause of this need, it's really a need for eternal satisfaction in one's existence, because clearly nothing here of this universe can provide that which we look for. And yet we do connect with, or we do communicate with creation here. There's no other way, but at the same time, I think the way to really recognize the one who fulfilled those needs would be to connect the need to the one who possesses infinite wisdom, because he's the owner of this warehouse and whatever I observe. So I thank you for your comment thus far, both Farah and Sarah. That was very helpful, alhamdulillah. Ali Marmar, go ahead.
Something very interesting going on here. Yeah, I took seriously the question on comment, but in the form of a question. I took it. What was the reason for this traveler? Of course, the traveler is everyone, you and me, are expected to come to this conclusion. We have been reading it for a while, and we didn't see any sign that this traveler is presented to us as the one who believes in God and then travels. No. He's the one curious man. Now, one thing, the supreme sign, what is the supreme sign? The universe itself. So we are not making any supreme sign within the universe. Everything within the universe is a supreme sign for human beings. This is the one point. The second point, I checked after Sarah said very frequently the verse which asks us to travel over the earth is mentioned in the Quran. I said, really? I checked while I was listening to it. At the same time, 15 times God orders, 15 times God orders, go and travel over the earth. It is 15 different verses are about it. It is quite significant. It is very, very many times mentioned in the Quran as compared to, I don't know, Hajj is mentioned only 1-2 verses, and a few, I mean. And prohibition of alcohol, 3 verses, I think. And prohibition of gambling is mentioned only once. Don't eat pig meat, I mean, bacon once, I think. Don't drink alcohol 3 to 1, but 15 times travel over the earth. Oh, it is amazing. Okay, now can you please bring up this verse 22, Hajj, chapter Hajj 22 and verse 46. Okay. Now, put it in the middle and, okay. Now, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. أفلم يسيروا في الأرض فتكون لهم قلوب يعقلون بها أو آذان يسمعون بها فإنها لا تعمى الأبصار ولكن تعمى القلوب التي في الصدور. Now, within, sudur is within human beings. In the chest means within human body. It means the human side of the body. That's what chest, they say in the global chests. Chest, not the location, physical location. It is within the body because the body itself is the chest for the spirit. So accordingly, read the English translation because we have to be careful with the word chest. So it is not really the chest which covers our lungs and heart. No. Chest is the body, the box, if you like. In it, the human feelings are functioning. It means spirit. Spirit represents the whole human side. Can somebody read the translation slowly?
Have they not traveled throughout the land, so their hearts may reason, and their ears may listen? Have they not traveled throughout the land, so their hearts may reason, and their ears may listen? Indeed, it is not the eyes that are blind, but it is the hearts in the chests that grow blind.
No. Isn't that clear? Somehow, is there any problem here? Of course, the very important concept that the Quran introduces to us that uh, so that their hearts may reason. Actually, their hearts may reason. No, no, no. فَتَكُونَ لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ يَعْقِلُونَ بِهَا. It is not really a very precise translation. There should be hearts that reasons with these earth, evidences of the earth. It means spirit, reasons, asks, as the traveler is doing, what is this going on here? So I said, okay, let's see the conditions for a person. I mean, let's assume two people. They are traveling on the earth. Do they come up with the same conclusion? Let's take the extreme examples. One of them comes up with the conclusion as the exemplary person is presented to us that excites us, and we were sharing our excitement. It is wonderful. And also, some people travel on the earth, bring the earth maybe into laboratory, some pieces of the earth into laboratory, and studies it deeply, deeply, and says it is the result of accident. Come on, both of them traveled over the earth, it means. Why one comes up with a conclusion, the other one comes up with a completely contradictory conclusion? What is the reason? Now, I said, of course, in order to be on the right side, if someone loses all these, I wrote out actually 5 elements that essentially needed for a human being in order to be on the right side. So if someone opposes all these in his attitude, it comes up on the other side, opposite side. What is that? First of all, we have to admit that human beings are created with curiosity. But the curiosity for what? Of course, everybody is curious from the very young age. A child presents all his curiosity without limitations. The child, he or she asks always, what is this? Why is that? Or if you say anything, especially the bothering questions they ask to their parents, and she said, where is God? I want to see him. Or what is, the God gets angry. The religious people tell them in order to limit their activities or aggressive actions. He says, how can it hit me? I'm free here. I can do everything. Or lots of questions. And then it was curiosity. But materialists, a person may be curious about the meaning of what he sees. The other one, it may be curious about how the things are functioning within themselves, by themselves, within themselves, by themselves. But because the second condition is they are not open-minded people. Open-mindedness is extremely necessary. What does it mean? As this person, the traveler, is presented to us as the ideal traveler, he went out to the earth and started investigating what is going on. Oh, something is interesting. Did he have any prejudice, any bias idea that the things are happening by themselves? Or I wouldn't believe in anything other than matter itself. or other way around. Of course, I am a religious man. God created everything, so I want to see what God created. Both of them are equally wrong attitudes. Open-mindedness is inevitable. So we have to have open-minded attitude. So the other one is we have to use our human qualities, which questions, which question. All the qualities question. For example, you are hungry. There is a human side asks, why am I hungry? Why do I get hungry? I love this. Why do I love this? What is the reason? Of course, in the course of time, as we grow, because we start losing our curiosity, our question saying that, if you eat food, your body gets nourishment. That is why we eat food. How the food is prepared? Oh, the nature is working there. I am just finding out how I should benefit from the nature. So get it this one, use in my kitchen and prepare the food as I like, etc. We develop a customary way of living, and at the end, we kill our curiosity side. And we stop questioning, and consequently we lose ourselves in our habitual lifestyle. Every day, for example, even you are a farmer, every season you do the same thing, and approximately similar results you get. You say, this is how nature works, like this. You can say it, or why is it in this way? Question. So we should never ignore our questioning human side. And we have to see how our uh, needs are acknowledged and met, satisfied. We have to use our intellect to see the relationship between me, my feelings, my needs, my questions, and exactly the uh, mm, complementing side is created in the universe, satisfying my need. For example, I don't like something, and there are something which is disgusting and harmful. I have a feeling which says this is harmful, keep away from it. So the mutual corresponding relationship between me and the universe is well established. So my body needs nourishment, nourishment is there. My intellect asks question, how the nourishment is prepared, I can see how it is prepared. My spirit asks the question, who arranged this and how it came into existence in this way? And the meaning of the universe says there is a purpose for it, but human beings cannot find it. Why? Who is doing that? What is doing that? Who is preparing it? It doesn't seem to be the result of a chance, an accidental being, so perfectly arranged in every way, not only for between me and the universe, but also universe and then between a plant, universe and between an animal. Everything is everything is perfectly fitting to each other, complementing to each other, and they are growing differently. The universe is there. I am growing within myself. How they are prepared in such a way that they grow in order to complement each other and perfectly work in harmony in the universe. We have to question, and our intellect needs to receive, find out a satisfactory answer to it. And the universe is silent, just says, "Oh, no, I am meaningful." Where did you get this meaning? I am meaningful. That is up to you. You have the spirit to question. Where do you think this meaning into my material body, the universe is saying, may be coming? Who can arrange it? I cannot arrange myself in the way that you are observing me. Who can arrange it? This question and the need for the answer, the request for the answer is going on, but there is no answer. So human beings must open their mind that there is something interesting, if you like, to start with in the journey of thinking, reflecting. Mysterious things are going on here, and it cannot be attributed to matter. Matter cannot have uh, any answer in it. Matter is just acting according to the way they are made, and they are bound by the way they are made. They cannot get out of it. They have no free will, no knowledge, etc. So we have to look and search for the answer. Towards the end of the journey, this traveler will come up and he will search for the answer to this kind of questions that cannot be found within the universe. Although universe points to the existence of the answer, the necessity of the answer, but doesn't have it. That is, human beings detects from the universe. So that is the fourth condition that we have to have. The last one, whatever the result, the answer I get from this source, the source must be the one who arranged this universe. The result, the answer to my questions, the result I conclude from the message that the creator of the universe presents to me through some means, let's speak in general terms now, some means, so it should not contradict my spirit. It means, for example, if this result says, of course, this is a plainly extreme example, the universe has no purpose. I say, I have no purpose in my existence. Why do I have all these qualities that require meaninglessness, purposeful life? And the answer says, if the answer said, you will die and disappear from existence. But I have a feeling not to die and forever. I mean, I understand the transition from one type of existence to another type. I understand, but not disappearing from existence eternally, absolutely, infinitely. I don't want it. I don't want to lose my existence. I understand, for example, from the life of my life as a fetus in the womb and then coming to the world. Yes, my life in the womb of my mother is dead, but I still exist. So I may die in the womb of the universe, but I want to still exist. So no contradiction, no contradictory answer I should receive from this answer, from this source, claims to be the guidance or the answer to my questions from the creator of me and the universe. So To conclude, the supreme sign is the universe in this case now, in the content of this book. The second thing, uh, traveling over the universe as this book is doing, traveling over the earth is 15 times repeated in the Quran. It means it is extremely important. What we are doing, we are obeying the order of my creator now in the Quran. It means in his speech. Do you want to understand the reality? Go there. And the other one is, look, I have in the chest of my body a heart, it means spirit, which uh, uh, reasons and sees and hears the truth. It means seeks the truth and listens to it, sees it in the universe, listens to the speech, guiding speech of the Creator, and confirms it as long as it doesn't contradict my human needs. So, in order to be on the right side, there may be two people traveling over the world. One of them says the universe has accidental happenings, and the other one says no, it is a conscious creator. It has a deliberate creation. So these two people, in order to be on the right side, first we have to use our curiosity, and we shouldn't really condition ourselves throughout the habit that we develop in our life span. And the second is we have to be open-minded. The third is we have to use human qualities which question what is the meaning of this. So the fourth one is acknowledge our need for satisfaction, intellectual satisfaction, not only body satisfaction. We use our intellect in order to satisfy the needs of our body. This is the age which is called secularist age. I understand. The secularist age is concentrating only the need of our body, to satisfy the need of our body. That's why we are all subject to education. We take education in order to what? How to use the universe and utilize it and satisfy my need of my body. How about the need of our human side? They are dying for meaning. They are dying for the purpose of their existence. They are wondering, why are we here? Who brought us? What is our beginning? What is our end? Where are we going from here? Are we going to disappear completely? Impossible to accept. What is going on in this world? So this is the fourth. The last condition, that whatever we get the answer from the universe should not contradict our human side. Not my body only, human side. Okay, we have to be curious. Otherwise, we have to be curious to, well, yeah. What does it mean? We have to use our quality to be curious, but we shouldn't kill it. Like a child, everything they ask, everything they wonder. So they are running after an ant, for example. Watch a 2 years old, 1 year old even baby. I mean, there are mothers among us. They can observe their children. They can witness this. If they see an ant, they go and try to finger to it, and then try to catch it and wonder what is going on there. How is it moving? But now I can see the ant, especially in the kitchen. I got the what is it called? To kill them.
Bug repellent.
kill, not only repellent. Inside, what?
Insecticide.
Yeah,
Cause
Insecticide.
say
Insecticide.
insecticides.
in text. Where is it?
Insecticide.
Insecticide. Okay, kill all the insects. That is, homicide in insecticide. Okay, so what I do now when I see the ant now, get the insecticide to kill them. Why human beings change in this way? Why? Because we really make ourselves the slave and prisoner of our habitual lifestyle. We don't keep our curiosity alive. Why is it that? What are they doing? Who is employing them? We just name it, as the Quran says, and leave it. That's an instinct. Where did you get the instinct, man? There is no instinct in the atom, in the matter. Don't be. I don't want the word heavy. I don't want to use the heavy word. Be a human being. Don't be that idiot. What is instinct? Where did you get it? There is no instinct in matter. So, anyways, so I think this five, it shouldn't, the answer should not contradict my expectations, human expectations. I need satisfaction. For example, I am hungry, you give me a poisonous food. Is it the way of satisfying? I feel it in my stomach with the poisonous food. Am I satisfied? No, no, no. It must be a clean, nourishing food. We are very careful about it. Okay, how about the answer we get from the meaning of the universe, from the creator of the universe? Are we as sensitive as our food? It should be satisfactory for me. It shouldn't contradict my human expectations. So that is why we have to be always alarmed. We have to be always question. To question, we have to be always open. Is it correct? Questioning. Is it correct? And don't condition yourself in either way. Whether you say, I believe in God and everything is created by God, or God creates everything, or there is no supernatural things. They are just stories made up by old people. So although the stupid religious people, they are ignorant people, etc. They label it and look down at them. And this, they don't know science. That's why they believe in God or this kind of supernatural beings. So, yeah, these are just what do they say? Word superstitions. And what's it? Really? Really superstition? I'm saying that the ant is meaningful in its existence, where this meaning and this instinct, you call it, came from. Matter cannot be the source of the instinct, which is different nature. My feelings are not of the kind of my cells, body cells. Body cells are matter. My feelings have nothing to do with matter. I love something, I hate something, which nothing to do with matter. What is the source of existence of this? Even the arrangement of the matter, who's arranging it? Is there a conscious architect in the ability to really plan and arrange everything, the knowledge in matter? don't be simple-minded. Be an honest person within yourself, etc., etc. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the comment. Sarah, I liked how you summarized it all, step by step. Would you like to read it?
I mean, it just summarizes the 5 conditions that Brother Ali beautifully placed, because I think a lot of times we ask the question, okay, but how do I see the signs? How do I stay in this connected state when halakha is over? How do I remain in this state of awareness and connection? How can I? And we constantly, this question is always repeated, but we don't necessarily take consistent steps to practice this. And so the first most important thing is to approach everything with this curiosity of a 2-year-old is a great example, because there's this incredible amazement of everything that's alive and it's not killed. And everything is startling. Everything is alarming. And Dr. Ali said that. It's a perfect analogy. We don't do that. So if you miss the first condition, the last 4, in order to have hearts that reason, to be this traveler that sees the wisdom that Nursi is talking about here, it's impossible. We have to intend and like schedule in time to, like you said, Fariha, go on these walks, have this this, I would say, curiosity of a 2-year-old, because I don't know how else to say it in such a fanatic way. They has to have this very intense curiosity about what's the color, the feeling. Like, I have a small human with me who touches everything and just looks at me with big eyes, doesn't have the words yet to say everything he's feeling, but everything is alarming. The color is alarming, the texture is alarming, everything. And then to be open-minded was the second step, and I thought that was such a great word, because it reminds me of this constant message that both Dr. Ali and Dr. Yamina share, of not bringing your knowledge. Oh, this is the tree, it creates a photosynthesis, and this is photosynthesis is how you get your like, not to being open-minded, which is the second condition, means don't bring any of your biases. Like Dr. Ali says, leave your shoes at the door. You're just approaching the world like a 2-year-old with this curiosity of like, wow, what is this? How is it here? And that open-mindedness with that alarming curiosity, like a clean slate, I think is just are very important steps. And now that we are not 2-year-olds and we are older, we can question in an existential way and really say, how is this made, and what news are you giving me? And because we've, been, I wouldn't even say blessed, but we've been given this education that was very secular, and now have been introduced to this new way of approaching the world with these new questions, we can start to step 4, see the relationship between the fact that I have a deep need, like Fariha would say, like a psychological, this constant need for comfort, for security, to feel certain that everything that I'm worried about is going to be taken care of. And how can that question, or that deepest need, which for me, the word Rab is very all-encompassing, the sustainer, how can I get this news of this sustainer through questioning the tree or the bird? Surely with an open-minded, curious condition of the heart, which questions in a very existential way, like, what news do you have for me? And then seeing the relationship now that we've learned from a secular education, that the world, there is something called photosynthesis. And then when we go to halakha, we learn, oh, this is not just photosynthesis. This is the order of someone that's extremely wise, has the whole universe in authority and caring authority to take care of you. then I can see that, let me just pull up my notes, that step 4 relationship of how my needs are being taken care of. And when I notice that my needs are being taken care of, I can relax. I can say, okay, I see that someone who owns the whole universe is taking care of me by making storehouses of everything I need right here in this tree. So when I say, oh, where are you when I need a companion, or where are you when I need provision, I don't panic because I see, oh, there you are, you're all around me. And then the answer, the final condition is the answer from the universe should not contradict my human side. And I guess that would, if we went through the first 4 steps, the heart should either feel relaxed or at ease. I guess that if the heart is not at ease, if the human does not feel secure or at ease, then there would be a contradiction. But if the heart feels like that news has brought me some comfort or relief, then I would conclude that, yes, this message is exactly what I need. And I'm in alignment with that message.
Jazakallah khair, Sarah. Thank you for sharing your comments. It's helpful to look into the step-by-step process. And at the same time, all different kinds of need. It doesn't have to be companionship or provision. There's so many needs human beings have depending on each of their personal cases that, just naming them would just be like you were saying, this is photosynthesis. Oh, guess what? I need this. I need a little more wealth to buy this. There's it's endless needs that we have. And we name it, this is what I need, this is what I need. And everyone is really individual. Personally, it's like an individual case. It's like everyone has to stand up in front of a judge presenting, just being their own case. This is it. This is, what's going on. This is my need, take out your whole life story portfolio. And so regardless of your needs, I feel that it all points to a bigger purpose. So the need is given. Things are just an excuse. Oh, I don't have enough wealth. I don't have enough this. My spouse did this. My children don't listen to me. And guess what? This is what's happening, and so on and so forth. But these are just excuses for me to read the actual need that the human being desire. And how do I get to that? Then I need to really remedy it with communicating with creation. And how do I communicate with creation? That has to do with this sense of curiosity and being open also to receiving what is it that things offer us, what is it that creation is offering us, and then acknowledging all of my need and all that is around me is just, there are just officials working on behalf of a one who's communicating this need of eternal satisfaction that I find myself with. And definitely nothing of this universe answered that. So, and wherever I get answers from, that should not contradict my human side. So alhamdulillah, that was a nice theoretical takeaway. May we inshallah implement this in our practical lives. Any other remarks from anyone? Comments or something?
If
Sarah,
no one
go
else
ahead.
wants to share. Okay. One other thing came to me. I'm just grateful to be able to share and be present. I love the message at the end of this paragraph that says the testimony they give and the divine unity they proclaim, declaring there is no God but He, a declaration as powerful, that was an emphatic word for me, as powerful and firm as mountains. So that's the first part that strikes me, that it's a powerful and firm declaration as mountains. And the even better news for me is that it's as vast and expansive as the plains. And he too says, I believe in God. And so the connection that came to me was what Brother Ali beautifully mentioned, is that this command, fasiru fil ard, so go, travel in the land, go do it. 15 times we're commanded to do this. So clearly it's a homework activity that needs to be done on a regular basis with these 5 conditions. And if it's to be done, then we will find this vast and expansive companionship that is firmly declaring in a powerful way, I too believe in this one. There's no one but he. And I just feel like that is totally what I personally need, is this strong, companionship that's constantly declaring this message. And I'm not finding it in any immediate circles around me, and I find that it's weakened, like you mentioned, Friha, when I'm not actively attending a halakha. But now if this go and travel through the land with these 5 conditions now, and we're going to actually schedule in time on a daily basis to go do this because our creator and educator is commanding us to do so for our own well-being, so that we can receive these messages that he has stored in everything around us. And not only are they stored there, but they're declaring it in a powerful and firm way if and only if we approach them with these 5 conditions. For me, this is great news. For me, it totally answers my question of the week of how am I going to sort of be more consistent and find this, the comfort of this news, which is La ilaha illahu, or who is this Rabb? How do I feel connected to this being? I love the fact that this presence of this message is vast and expansive as the plains. For me, then it says, okay, then it covers everything. This message should be everywhere. So back to my first question, how do I in Brooklyn find something to reflect on when it's just concrete, minimal trees, and a lot of trucks? Well, now all of a sudden with this paragraph, for me, I'm finding a lot of encouragement to go look again and try again with these 5 conditions and see, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you for sharing that. I guess wherever we go, there's always the sky up there to ponder over. And that was a great of you to share out your reflections as well, because now I'm also thinking more on this fundamental human need that we all seek. It's really eternal companionship with the source of our existence, because when you really experience the ugly side of creation, the world, then I think it's a experience for a purpose, where one realizes really what the human being needs. The human being, just like Brother Ali was alluding to, not the body side, not my animal side, but really my human side. What is it in need of, and what does it long for? I think that's the training. Otherwise, how many years of existence here? I think we can all fill in the blank. And I can go on living in like an idiot. So I think it's a wake-up call from Nursi, asking the human being to check in themselves in terms of how am I utilizing this creation. Alhamdulillah, thank you. And I think we can just continue on. I really enjoyed this author sharing out like little expression. We can call it prayer, but it is, how we call it prayer is like a need for something, a hope when he expressed something out. So we'll just read that part up. Inshallah, bismillah. In expression of this meaning, it was said in the 5th degree of the first station, there's no God but God. to the necessity of whose existence point all the mountains and plants together with what is in them. To the necessity of whose existence point all the mountains and plains together with what is in them, and upon them by the testimony of the sublimity of the comprehensiveness of the truth of the storing up, administration, dissemination of seed. So look at all the qualities that are made to experience. We see perfect administration. You're, like we mentioned about something, we label it as photosynthesis, but it's really a perfect administration going on. How does something sprout? Dissemination of seed, preservation and regulation, and truth, providential, dominical, vast, general, well-ordered and perfect, and to be observed. So I think even the qualities that we experience all around us, I think we can also connect those qualities within our being as well. So the human being is also a mini universe, and we are in the universe as well. So there's just this constant communication back and forth where things are mirroring really these qualities that we experience, and so what do we make out of these qualities? So I think this is an interesting expression, but I know it's a little bit loaded as well, but it's, I don't know if anyone wants to share anything that they took away from this last piece or anything else. Feel free to do so. Okay, if not, then
I can just share what comes to my mind quickly.
Of course.
Or to my heart quickly. I would not like to really go into it without picking at the beginning. The words necessity of whose existence is first, like, I have questions about that. But if we don't have time to discuss, then we can save it for next time. But what I do want, because it seems like necessity of whose existence is an important part of the beginning. But by the testimony of the sublimity of the comprehensiveness of the truth of the, okay, so we talked about the storing up, but now these words, administrator, disseminator, preserver, regulator, a true provider, vast, well-ordered. If these qualities stuck out to me, or like he says in his words, not only stuck out to me, but declare as powerfully and firm as, for example, the tree is rooted down below it. If these qualities proclaimed themselves or declared themselves to me in a powerful and firm way, and like he said, in a vast way, so that all the earth does it, no matter where I go, then the words administrator, preserver, like, wow, disseminator. So think about my life problems now that I'm worried about or that I'm concerned about. If I found the news of a preserver, a regulator who's regulating everything is ordered, a true provider, administrator, like, I find these words are filled with comfort. Like, there's, for example, a boss of the universe and that's taking care of everything in a very administrative or like authoritative way, that has complete authority, but also so generously and vastly. So it goes back to your question, Freya. Would I feel so insecure about my needs and my psychological, we say the word psychological, but really it's what the heart's needs are. I just find these words are like so, it's almost like we have so many needs that gives us like this vulnerability, or like this, like, you're so, I have so many things that I need. And then sometimes we can feel a little worried about them, like a little vulnerable, a little exposed, like, oh, but then these words are like a blanket of comfort that just totally come or like clothe everything that you need with quality. So you don't even worry about them anymore because you see a generous administrator that's preserving and ordering. So what am I worried about? I guess we can, leave that as heart food or food for thought.
Mashallah, thank you, Sarah, for sharing that. I was really pondering over the quality of administration. I think it's an not only interesting quality, but it's something that I think I don't often think of. Who's administering every single thing? Like the rest of it, we can sort of make sense of it. But like I think looking into each of these qualities, even like regulation, that also falls under that category. It's something that we label, like even within how are things regulated within our bodies, just like river flowing, whatever is going on, it's also within ourselves as well. So that's all of these qualities point to
the necessity
to point to a one whose existence must be absolute. So like the author mentioning, there's no God but God, to the necessity of whose existence. So all of these qualities necessarily point to a one, not of the nature of these universe. And these qualities are happening within. Definitely. I think we get caught up when a lot of times also when we even, we're even wondering, trying to fix our spiritual state, that even, like, I'm not body, I know that part. So even, kind of shun away like how is like even the food being digested or the lungs functioning and all of that. So I think there's got to be a balance to one state of awareness. So alhamdulillah, that was great. Jazakallah khair, everyone, for all the comments and your participation. Let me see what's on the chat. Sarah is alluding to the fact that the qualities that are happening within my body as well, regulator, administrator, so finding him within and without should be sufficient evidence to calm my needs or reassure my heart. Exactly. It's just, everything is just a message, bringing in news from a one that loves us and that cares for us, and whatever we feel is happening to us, it's for our own good, as long as we connect it all to the creator of the universe. So alhamdulillah, we are at time today. So next week, inshallah, we will pick up from page 139, the first paragraph. Then while the traveler was traveling. So we'll continue from here on, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana. Innaka antal alimul hakim. Glory be unto you. We have no knowledge save except that which you've taught us. Indeed, you are all knowledgeable, all wise. Wa akhiru da'wahum anil hamdulillahi rabbil